welcome to CFC Fan TV's Premier League Pizza Roundup. I am joined by the wonderful Sophie Rose.
Thank you, Rory, and look at all the amazing food that we have here.
So you just got back from Newcastle?
I have just got back from Newcastle, yeah. I froze. I literally froze. My feet, every toe was soaking wet because I decided to wear some plimsolls in the rain.
Amateur. You've got to know that when you're going up there.
It was not a good idea on my half. But if I'm being honest, it's one of those away days that I actually enjoy going to. I actually quite like the view up there. I know they stick you right at the top.
But
I think credit to Newcastle, they have a great fan base, they have a brilliant stadium, and I really enjoy going up there. So, and great support from our away fans as usual.
Really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I always find it's very different when you're at a game to watching it on the screen. Sometimes it's better to watch it on the screen so you can see sort of what's going on. You can watch the replays, things like that. But the atmosphere is second to none when you're there to witness it firsthand.
Yeah, for sure.
And all of us fans were pretty fuming for the first half. We knew Newcastle were going to play very defensively. Of course they will against a team like Chelsea. We haven't had the best run of form up there. I've never been to St James Park and I think witnessed a first good half in quite a few years. But yeah, it was a little bit frustrating that we couldn't really seem to create anything considering we had such a strong lineup. I thought when I saw Kovacic and Hazard in the starting lineup that
you've been too harsh. See, I was on board. I was loving your review there. That's the monologue. I was loving your monologue.
I'm getting to the good part.
But the thing is, it's so difficult to play against the side who put 11 men behind the ball.
I completely agree with you. So I was getting to that already.
I know, but I haven't said a word for 15 minutes.
I know, yeah, well, I don't want you to. So like I say, it was very frustrating, but come the first goal with a penalty, which I know a lot of you will dispute wasn't a penalty. What do you think? Yeah, I always ask Rory what he thinks when he's got a mouthful. Yeah, no, listen, I know a lot of Newcastle fans feel hard done by, and actually, to be fair, on my tweet, because I put out a tweet saying, I put out a picture of the game, meeting myself at the game with my good friend, and everyone was like, oh, you got really lucky today, blah, blah, blah. But actually, any other season, we're not getting a result out of that game. So
the thing is, I think it's a very difficult place to go and deal with the tactics that Benitez set his team out to play with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they played. What do you think?
There we go.
No, you know, it's really, it is really tough. I think a player like, say, Alvaro Morata, who's come in for a lot of criticism.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when you're going to a place like that and playing in those conditions, it's very, very difficult. And actually, he did well, all things considered, because it's so hard for a centre forward in that position to play with his back to goal, with their two centre halves completely monitoring him, and it's not easy. Of course, he should have done better. Of course, it'd be lovely if he was on the score sheet. But I think people need to try and empathise and understand why didn't he play well, not just say he didn't play well. It's very difficult in those conditions.
Yeah, I think amongst the fans, still, I'm really not hearing much positive talk, and that's not my particular view because I have been very harsh with him as well. But I also do understand player confidence and things like that are major issues. But genuinely, when I'm at the stadium, there's really not many. The only thing that bothers fans about Morata is his lack of maybe initiative or aggression, initiative. When actually, if you didn't fall on the floor and you tried something that maybe your shot would go wide or whatever. If you try something out of the ordinary, maybe you may see a result out of something like that. That's the only thing I really hear fans saying. It's not really. I mean, we've had even Drogba went out of form at some point during his career. It's not really about.
But do you know what? Everything considered, I think it's so important to acknowledge how big that result is.
Huge.
It's such a and also it didn't all go to plan. The fact that they came back into the game completely against the run and play, they only had about 10% possession at the time, and they came back into the game, nicked it. The fact that we then still went on, still fought hard, and still got the victory, really is huge for our aspirations this season. Mm-hmm. And I think it does bode really well. I just want to do this. We have to talk about Marcos Alonso.
I thought you were going to talk about the Penguin again then, thank goodness for that. Go on then.
I just think that I just wonder when will we get to the point where
fans like it
will stop. Well, fans, I know, love him, and also everyone in the stadium always sings his name really loudly. But I just wonder, when will we get to the point where people will stop disliking him from behind private social media accounts? At what point do they go, God, this geezer's, they go, our left back's terrible. Really? Because he won a penalty and forced an own goal.
I think it's very two-sided. I don't know who these fans are though, because when I go to the games, like I said, it's very different. When you're at the games, I don't see or hear any fans.
People love him.
They're all chanting his name left, right, and centre. And that's how you know when somebody's loved. But I think don't know whether it's just they're focusing on every negative he does. I mean, I think maybe because he wasn't a fan favourite from the beginning, and we didn't really see what he could do till a little bit later on. Then maybe they hold on to that and they criticise his bad parts of play. But you could say that for any player on the pitch.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. But do us a favour, comment below. How do you feel about Marcos Alonso? Do you agree with Sophie and I and think that he is a wonderful human, or do you agree with some private internet accounts who think he's a moron? I just can't
Yeah,
work
no,
out.
I don't. I think eventually fans are just going to have to. All fans are going to have to accept the fact that he actually is the main reason why we won this. I mean, he won the penalty, didn't he?
Mate, he won the penalty and he forced an own goal. You can't ask for much more than that from me.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But yeah, do us a favour, comment below, let us know how you think. So as you know, on this pizza review, what we do is talk about how everything affects Chelsea. So we're going to talk about some of the other teams and how they got on and some of the other fixtures over the course of the weekend. Liverpool won.
Liverpool did win, but only by 1 goal, which actually quite shocked me.
Yeah, they didn't play very well, but they still got the victory, which is a sign of a good side, isn't it?
I mean, I tipped Liverpool to win the league this year. Don't hate me, everyone, I'm being realistic, and I know a lot of you think it will be City, or some fans think it will be Chelsea. But I think the difference between City and Liverpool so far is, and actually, to be fair, we're doing the same. We're getting results out of games where we're not actually, I mean, you could say not playing good football, but at the same time, you could say not having an easy game, not having an easy 90 minutes.
Yeah, but I think that's what worries me about Liverpool. The fact that they got a victory in a game where they didn't play very well at all, and the fact that they won 1-0, which isn't meant to be their forte, it's an indication of what they're hoping to achieve this season.
I think Liverpool are a fantastic team. I think Salah they have a very fiery team.
Yeah, they do.
Their players have a little bit of what I want Morata to have. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I think Roberto Firmino is a great centre forward. And he's really, really good, slightly underrated, and I know exactly what you mean. So yeah, they are very threatening this season.
To be fair, I didn't expect City to draw. I didn't expect them to draw. I don't know what you guys think. I didn't expect them to draw.
City drawing, I know. I didn't see it coming. Wolves are
I went up to Wolverhampton last season to discuss where they think for the Channel 4 thing, to discuss where they think they're going to finish in the season. A lot of them were saying top 6. They think they're going to get Europe.
But you know what? I believe it.
That's what they think.
But you know what, Sophie? It's a very, very interesting thing what's going on at Wolves, isn't it? Because they've got huge money coming from China. Yeah, they've got the Fosun Group, who are huge. They really have put their money where their mouth is. And they've obviously got George Mendes involved. Like, George Mendes is involved with Cristiano Ronaldo. He's his best mate. The fact that's how they've managed to sign the likes of Ruben Neves, you know, it's an impressive approach to the Premier League. And
are they trying to get into Europe, or are they trying to stay up?
I think any promoted club's
because I was shocked. I'm not being honest. When I went to Wolves, I didn't really know much about this whole time. The fans filled me in. I mean, I'm not exactly sitting at home wondering what Wolverhampton Wanderers are doing. My dad lives up there though, and I know a lot of Wolves fans.
You know, I think it's
they're very, very hopeful.
I'm sure they're very hopeful, and I think any promoted club's priority will be like to maintain Premier League status. But the second that that's done, and that's generally done around the 40-point mark, the second that they've achieved that, they'll be then looking up the table. And getting a point against City is a massive result. They were lucky. VAR would have ruled that goal out, definitely.
Yeah, I think. I remember going to Wolverhampton years back when they were last in the Premier League. Very impressive stadium.
I saw a score 5 at Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
I saw a score 5 there years ago. I can remember it clear as day. On the midweek, Chelsea played in Prague, and we won 1-0. William Gallas scored a last-minute header away in Prague, and I went to it, and I flew back into Birmingham Airport to go to Wolves away. 5 he scored.
Very impressive.
5 he scored. It's weird how you can remember things like that. I don't know what I was up to yesterday.
Yeah, but you know, I think when it comes to us playing Wolverhampton, I'm not so worried. Like I say, when we went up to Newcastle this week, I expected us to concede a goal. Doesn't matter how low they are on the table. I mean, they think they're fighting relegation this season, so what, whatever. For me, us playing teams like Wolverhampton, like Newcastle, I fully expect us to concede goals. And I think City fans in this situation were incredibly naive to go into that game thinking that they were just going to get the 3 points. So Rory, I don't want to talk about it, but we are going to have to discuss our London rivals. Let's start off with Arsenal. They won 3-1 against West Ham at the weekend. 1-0 down. I thought it was going to be a bit of a repeat, but it's their first win under Emery. So what do you think?
Well, it's a big win, isn't it? I mean, Arsenal, people have been laughing at Arsenal, making jokes about the fact that they were, fighting relegation or whatever. But it's nonsense, isn't it? Nobody pays any attention to the Premier League table at this point in the season.
No.
And they've had 2 really tough games. They played Manchester City, who are, well, we've had our experience with Man City this year. We know how difficult that can be. And they played Chelsea. And there was, in the Chelsea game, there was a world in which it didn't go their way, but there was a world in which they could have won that game as well. Had they scored half of the chances they created in the first half, it would have been a very different story. So I think that it's not surprising that Arsenal are off the mark. I'd rather talk about West Ham now. Are they going down?
I don't think they'll go down. Do you know what? Ever since they moved to their new stadium, it's not really been the same team, have they? Not that they were brilliant before that.
No.
But I mean, I've been to West Ham many times and we've not got a result there.
Charlie Skillen said it to me, and he was completely correct. West Ham away went from being a game that you couldn't miss. Like going to Upton Park, it was one of the first games that you looked for. It was so exciting. It was always a brilliant place to go and watch football played. It was an intimidating ground that was partisan and passionate and aggressive and brilliant. Loads of bubbles. And it's become a game that you can happily swerve.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to go for a drink in Westfield beforehand. I mean, it's a night.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I don't feel sorry for them. That's a bit. I empathise with them as to why they would, why fans wouldn't be as excited as going there. I mean, nobody wants a home ground.
It's the worst ground in the world.
Yeah, it's not my favourite stadium. I think the views just not that great. But I don't see.
It's not a football ground, is it? It's not built for a football ground.
No.
It's built for an athletic stadium. They've converted into a football stadium, but the view that you get.
I watched Beyonce there this year.
There you go. I bet it's brilliant. I bet it's fantastic for that.
It was really good, yeah.
But yeah, it's just not a football stadium, and the view. When I go to football, obviously I go to see my mates, but I'm there to watch a game of football. You can't see a game of football. It's miles away. My eyesight's not that good.
Yeah, no, it's not that great. But I think West Ham just haven't really. There's not really an excuse for them not getting a result at the Emirates. I mean, Arsenal have some incredibly strong weaknesses in their team.
Strong weaknesses. I like it.
Weaknesses. Do you like that?
I like it. Yeah, it's your own phrase.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
I like it.
Don't laugh at me, Charlie. Charlie's here in the background. But I just think they could easily have won that game. I just don't think they're as good as what they used to be.
Will West Ham go down?
No, they won't go down. I don't see them going down. I think there's other teams in contention for that. Who do you think is going to go down this year? I'll tell you the 2 that are. Cardiff and Huddersfield. We'll touch on that quickly. If they can't score against each other, considering they're both terrible, they cannot score against anyone. That is awful.
Yeah, very good point. Yeah, I could see a world in which both of those go down.
Yeah, third place
Southampton
though.
aren't looking great. Southampton dodged it last year, and I've got no faith in Mark Hughes.
Oh no, not at all. But I do think to be fair, I don't think Fulham started off well, and they spent a lot of money.
Spent a lot of money.
And
the first
season
team to spend
not so
100 million from road to
Yeah,
side.
and I don't see the 100 million really paying off, if I'm being honest. I mean, but I think just because you spend 100 million doesn't mean you spend it in the right places. So I think they should have done a lot better so far.
And they should have got something in their first game.
Yeah,
the
that's
game against
what I mean.
Palace.
That's what
the
I
game
mean.
against
So
Palace.
for us, the difference in our season is going to be us playing Arsenal, City, United. We need to pick up those points. For teams at the bottom of the league, they need to pick up points against Cardiff, Huddersfield.
When Fulham are playing Palace at the Cottage, they have to get something.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't get that, that's when you're going to struggle in the end. So I think the bottom half of the Premier League is actually quite interesting this year, quite exciting. But if Huddersfield don't go down, I'll be absolutely. I bet all my money on it.
Yeah, I can see
if they're going away. So, like I said, I think Fulham haven't had the best start. I don't think the amount of money they've spent has reflected so much on the pitch so far. But I do think they got a good result against Burnley at the weekend 4-2. So
you don't think that'll be enough?
I don't know if it'll be enough, no. But I'm not saying they're definitely going to go down like the likes of Cardiff and Huddersfield. I just think that they.
Oh, so Cardiff and Huddersfield are gone.
See you later.
Oh, let us know what you think about that.
Okay then, last but not least, we're going to have to talk about United Tottenham, who are playing tonight. Tottenham haven't spent any money this summer, of course, as we know, but United have not had the best starts at all, I don't think.
No. Tottenham have a terrible record at Old Trafford.
Okay.
I mean, like, hideous. Does that affect
Do you know what, I think the... If I'm being honest, I think the top 4 will go. My prediction. You want to hear my prediction for top 4?
Always.
We'll go. I don't know if I said the last one. It's going to go Liverpool, City, Chelsea, and the last space up for grabs between the last 3. But I don't see Arsenal getting top 4. I think it's between United and Tottenham who will get top 4 this season.
Okay. So how does that affect tonight's game? Tottenham.
Well, that's what I mean. One of them has to pick up. That's what I mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're putting you on the spot though.
I think. I mean, if their records are made to be broken, I'm not too keen. I don't like that, if I'm being honest. I never like it when people say that because
Yeah.
we lost our record against Tottenham, not to mention it. I think United are in probably the worst. They're not in a good place. Players aren't happy there. I don't think Mourinho is particularly happy. So I would tip Tottenham to win it, or at least scrape a draw. I think a draw is more realistic. If that's my opinion. I don't see United picking up the 3 points this evening.
I do.
Do you? Go on then. Tell us why, Rory. Tell us why.
I think when the chips are down, Mourinho shines. Have you ever seen that Alex Ferguson quote about Manchester United and Tottenham?
No, you tell me.
Very good. I think his team were 3-0 down at White Hart Lane. So Tottenham 3-0 up against Manchester United at White Hart Lane. And Ferguson was obviously livid. And he went in there and his team talk basically went, lads, it's Tottenham. Like, what are you doing? It's like, lads, it's Tottenham. And they went out and won 5-3. Beckham scored a grinder, I can remember. And I just think that kind of mentality still exists. I think that when Manchester United ultimately look at who they are, look at the players that they have at their disposal and face this Tottenham team, I think that they will just remember those words and beat Tottenham.
Well, I hate Tottenham, so any win against.
Pound bet.
God, £1?
£1.
Alright, go on then.
Done.
So there you have it, there is our Premier League pizza roundup. Thank you so much to Quartieri for having us today. The food was amazing, wasn't it?
It was
As
amazing.
usual.
And make sure that you check out the description, the address is there. If you come in and say that Sophie sent you, I don't know what happened, but try it.
Of course, this is our second week doing this segment. So if you do like it, just give the video a thumbs up so we can monitor it. And if you like it, obviously we will keep on doing it every Monday. And of course, please subscribe to our channel.